It's going to take a few minutes to get everybody on, setting up the computers over here. Because why have one computer when you can have two, just in case? We got a lot to talk about today with the stock market. It's just been absolutely crazy. Market sell-off. Trump posts lops of $2 trillion. $2 trillion in a single day. I don't know about you guys. If I was the prez that tanked the market with these comments, he probably got a few text messages from a few friends and was like, hey, what's up? What's up, bro? You crashed the market. You cost me a billy today. Like, I know some of us look at our accounts and we're like pretty pissed because we lost 5 grand, 10 grand, 20, whatever. His friends, Billy. Emotional intelligence here. The emotional intelligence of just going crazy on social media makes absolutely no sense. It's costing everybody an absolute fortune. Look, but at the same time, this could be a good opportunity for a lot of us to buy. Honestly, we knew the rare earth metals competition was coming. If we're going to, on our side, say, hey, you can't get the advanced chips, you can't get this, what do you think they're going to do on their side? You think they're going to be like, oh, well, here's all the rare earth metals so you can get ahead with everything you guys are doing in technology, and we're just going to sit back and let it happen? The US wouldn't do that if we had all those rare earth metals, which we may have soon. I forgot where it is, where we have that mine. I don't know where our mine is. BURU. Look at Jaden. Jaden's already got the BURU on Jaden's mine this morning. Bob, how is it my ticker Nuburu, right, which I bought last Friday, a week ago, up, I don't know, about 100%. How is my Nuburu stock the only stock out of my whole portfolio that did not get hit Friday? Now, look, a 1 day, guys, we don't want to look at our portfolios from a 1 day stance. Yeah, it hurts a little bit to log in. I almost didn't want to log in. And then I was just like, this is a good learning experience. You got to just look at it and you got to go with the flow. It's just part of the game. Did you take any advantages with all these dips and reinvest? What I bought, so I buy on Fridays. Every Friday I buy. I bought right before this news came out. I bought QQQI, which dipped a little bit on Friday. I had to finish up my position. So here's the thing, and this is, I have goals, and I don't know, some people do this stuff, some people don't. So I have investing goals where I have specific stocks, and I say, I want to have X amount of shares by the end of the year. Okay, close out one of those. So QQQI, I wanted 200 shares. I now have 200 shares. I can move on to my next thing. UNH, I wanted 30 shares. Okay, I got my 30 shares. SoFi, which if I had the extra cash in my account right now, I'd be buying SoFi at this level. I still need to get about 275 shares of SoFi. SCHG, my favorite growth ETF, I still need a bunch of those in SCHD. So basically what I need to be doing for the rest of the year, I have October, November, December. I got 3 months. I need to, on my business side, my entrepreneurship side, I need to make a lot of money and then funnel it into the investing to reach my goals. Now, another way I reach my goals, I see in the comments here, we're talking about Nuburu and some of these other trades. And I share some of these trades and I say, look, if you're a young investor, you probably don't want to be doing these trades unless you have a solid foundation built. I've been making a couple of thousand here, 5,000 there, something on some of these trades because, guys, I don't know if you know this. If you're new to the live here, the stock tips that we get in the comments on my posts are unreal at this point, okay? Hey, Mikey, the interview of DT backing out tariffs. It's not an interview. So what it was is DT, you got to be careful about saying names on here because AI and block and stuff. DT had an interview, White House interview, and it was talking about the drugs, how we're lowering the price of drugs, working out deals. That part is actually some good news because I don't know if you guys, how much, if you travel to other countries and you can just you don't need a prescription in a lot of different countries for most drugs, non-controlled, like crazy stuff. It's so cheap. It's so cheap. It's the same stuff. And it's like you come here and it's like 100 times more. It doesn't even make sense. So they're working on that. Now, after that conference, the press asks questions. And I was watching because I was on a plane and freaking trying to learn all this stuff, see what's going on. What happened was he didn't fully backtrack, but they were saying, well, are you going to still meet with President Xi it's like a conference in 2 weeks where all the world leaders are going to be. Don't have it at the top of my head. I haven't even had my first cup of coffee. Okay. And he's like, well, I'm probably going to meet with him because we're going to be there, or I might meet with him because we're going to be there on the same place. And it's where at first it was like, I'm not going to do it. And when people saw that, people said, oh boy, we're in trouble. So I feel like it's a little backtrack here. So that's it wasn't a full like one-on-one interview specifically about it. It was more like after this it was more of a press conference, and people were drilling them about the questions because everyone probably looked at their portfolio and said, what the hell's going on? So Monday might actually be pretty good. Hold on, lots of comments. Hey bro, are you holding? I'm still holding BURU, ticker BURU. Have you bought ADAP? I haven't bought ADAP. There's just too many stocks, guys. You guys give me too many stock ideas, right? I don't know what I need to do. I need to be making a ton more money. And because you guys keep coming up with all these ideas that keep ripping, I wish you would tell me some of these ideas before it goes up 20, 30%. But what you'll notice, and this is what I want you guys to remember, this Monday or Friday was a good learning experience for a lot of us. And let me tell you why. So I'm trying to catch up with all these messages. What I want you guys to realize about Friday was a learning experience. It was an expensive learning experience for some, but if you didn't sell stocks, hey, you're still in stocks, you still have your shares. Friday was an interesting learning experience because you look at cryptocurrency, which I don't talk about really because I don't know much about it. You look at the altcoins, and I'm going to compare it over to stocks so you can learn here. Bitcoin came down, right? It was a big drop. Percentage-wise, not too huge. You look at the altcoins, most of those down 50%, okay? Bitcoin's down a little bit. Now, here's the thing. I want you to relate it. Now, that's the crypto side. Let's come over and see, this is crypto side. This is stock side. Let's come over to the stock side. On the stock side, solid companies, yeah, they would drop maybe 2-3%. If it was a risky company, 15-20%. You guys saw it. You saw it. And that's why when you're investing, it's a much safer position to be in strong, profitable companies. Okay. So those are the two sides. So when you get into a position, and that's why people are like, you sold too early. I don't want to get stuck holding these things when somebody goes on some social media platforms and tanks everything. And then you got to wait, weeks for it to come back when I could have just taken my profit, had the money sitting in the account, everything goes down. And then I could have just bought a couple hundred shares of SoFi. Anyways, let me get back in some of these comments. I thought I saw, what do you think of DKNG pies you can share about your portfolio for a 3 to 5 year term? What do you mean any pies? I'm not sure what pie. Hyman covered calls, ETFs like Harvest, Brownhill. Yeah, those covered calls. Okay, I'm going to look up this one stock here because of the nice comment, DKNG. But I'm going to talk just for a second about these covered call ETFs. Okay. And what I find, this is not always, DraftKings. What I find with covered call ETFs, I do like, by the way, here's the thing about covered call ETFs. If I was younger, okay, just transparency, I'm 49. Okay, so building up the passive income for me right now is a little bit more important. Okay, if I was younger, I would be a little less interested about getting into covered call ETFs. Okay, so I want you guys to think about that. I would be more focused on growth. Now, I'm not going to ever give you investing advice. Never take investing advice from anyone on these platforms. You can use it as inspiration or ideas. But if you take a covered call ETF, right? Let's just say, for example, one that I own, QQQI. A lot of times, the underlying asset will dip and then the covered call will dip, the covered call ETF. Now, when the underlying asset, a QQQ, comes back up, the ETF is usually lagging, and that's the problem with some of those. So the QQQ can come up. Now, this is going to be paying that nice minty dividend the whole time, but it's going to lag sometime and take a while to catch up. So you got to be careful with some of those covered call ETFs. And I own a bunch of them. I have owned JEPI, JEPQ, QQQI. I got a risky one. Definitely don't recommend, but it pays weekly, and I do like waking up every Saturday morning to a dividend. QDTE, that one's kind of fun. Tariffs on, I know that if this happens with an extra 100%, like it's going to crush everything here. PYRY, Pi, right? I have your message. It's on my list to check out. We can probably check it out on this live. Hey, Mike, do you have analyze on only BURU today or other suggestion? Oh no. So we're going to be talking about a bunch of different stocks. I have some time this morning, so I couldn't go live all week. I missed you guys going live. I knew you guys were like, "Where's Mikey? I see him posting videos, but why isn't he going live?" I'm here. Let's see here. Any thoughts on coins, altcoins? Yeah, those things got crushed. I ain't touching those things. Seller hold in general for next week. I always hold my long-term position. So when I buy certain ETFs, and that's why I really enjoy ETFs. If my ETF goes down 10% next week, I don't really care because I ain't doing nothing with it anyway. I'm holding this thing till the end of my days, right? And anytime if I needed money, you can always borrow money against those assets instead of selling the asset and paying the tax. Okay, so that's why those short term on those long ones. Now the risky stocks to something, like a YYAI, which I bought this week. TikTok made me buy YYAI. It was kind of like an experiment. I didn't put much money in it, so it's okay. That thing was down 10%. See, and this is a good example. The riskier plays are down 10% yesterday, 15% yesterday, where the solid companies are down 3%, 5%. So you're always going to take a hit on those days. See, Mike, how you been? Can you go through why AI? It's talking. They have some interesting talk with Solana. Okay, and like I said, I'm not into crypto stuff much, so I'm sure there's people that know a lot more about this than me. So I was interested in it because there's been a lot of my friend talks a lot about Solana. My friend Mikhail, who I did a live with him one time here, and so it seemed like we had some interesting news come out, and sometimes with these smaller companies, and this company is micro cap. I mean, this is like a little spec cap stock, okay? So I was hoping for a quick pop. Maybe we could maybe even double, 2, 3x our money with some good news. So, yeah, I'm sitting back on this one. I didn't sell. I'm holding on to it, and we're gonna just keep watching it. So we don't have any new news. There's no new news. We're just gonna sit back. If you don't feel comfortable with it, obviously, maybe get out. But for that one, I can hold it a little bit longer and see what happens. What do you think will happen with the market on Monday? So this is the thing. Obviously, the stock market's closed today, right? And this is what I was looking at last night when I was flying back from Denver last night. Okay, so I was trying to catch up on some news, see what's going on. Now, the crypto market I thought was coming back stronger. If this started coming back a little bit more, coin and such, then it would have been a little bit stronger indication about Monday, where money's going back into all sorts of assets because the crypto got killed. So we'll have to see on Monday. If nothing, no news comes out or anything, it's Columbus Day. I think it's going to be a little bit quiet. I did just post a video that the market is open on Monday, despite it being a holiday, Columbus Day. It is open. Okay. So it's going to be a little bit of a funny day because I think, people are on vacation or traveling and doing all this stuff. There's not going to be as much. Tuesday's probably going to be, here's the thing. Monday's probably going to be a little light on the trading. Okay. A little freaking crazy. And let's just say, I think it's going to be a little bit of a slow day on Monday, but it could tank. I don't know what it is, guys. I just don't. I know gold's up, and this is the thing. Just because, just because I don't like something, it's just for me personally, right? So buying in gold, I've never bought gold. It's just not my thing. Now, Analyst Channel asked about BTO, ticker BTO, which is B2 Gold Corp. And it looks like it's been doing great. It's up, in the last year, 60% because gold's going up and people just like putting their money somewhere. I just don't invest in gold. It's just, yeah, it's just not my thing. So I don't touch anything gold. For the most part, I don't touch much crypto. It's not my thing. I love real estate, like literal real estate. Like I'm in real estate and some of our other properties. And then I like companies. I generally like companies that I love. Let's see, Hive, HIVE. There's been actually a lot of comments about Hive. And once again, that thing got hit a little bit, not too bad, 5%. It still had quite the run up. I mean, anything out of the summertime was pretty crazy. Hive Digital, let me take a look. See, let's see. I'm trying to check for some real news, guys. Bear with me one sec. Let's see, Hive associated with Hive blockchain. Yeah, this thing's had quite the run up here. It's still, Canadian, 2 billion Canadian. What is that? Is that even worth it? Still, it's related to crypto. Some of these are fun to play with, but they just, guys, you got to be careful with some of these with crypto because you see what happens. TANAYA Therapeutics. I'm looking at ticker TNYA, and there has been, some excitement about this one. It was actually, I'm surprised, guys. I probably need to check like ChatGPT or something and be like, hey, what stocks were up on Friday? Because those have some strength, okay? They have some strength. So this one was actually up 4%, which is pretty incredible, up 28%. I'm talking about ticker TNYA, Ken Therapeutics, leadership message, shape long-term percentage. They have a market cap 342 million. They are not profitable. They did have a low of 36 cents. Some of these therapeutics are definitely some long-term plays because a lot of times they're trying to have breakthroughs with different drugs. My concern right now in this current environment, there's a lot of cuts, okay? There's a lot of research cuts for colleges, for I think NIH, for all of this for us, which is we're trying to break through in technology, but now we're cutting everything. So I'm a little worried about that. Now, if they have other investors and stuff, obviously they're public, so we have money coming in this way. It's definitely smaller. I didn't look at what they're doing. They're losing about $1 a share, which is pretty painful. I think I got to do a little bit more research because I don't know this company at all. I'll get back and do that one. UPS. Okay, here's my problem with UPS, guys. I know UPS is looking, their UPS dividend is now 8%. Now, I love dividends, but here's the biggest problem. UPS's dividend is now reaching 8%. It's at 7.92% at this level. Okay. Historically, that is probably astronomical for UPS. Okay. So let's think about that. It's historically astronomical. And this thing it's down 40%. The charts are looking horrible. Here's what I want you to know is it's not really out there a lot. Amazon is coming for UPS. So, because I'm in e-commerce and I ship tons of packages every single day, what Amazon is doing is kind of a private program where they're working with more e-commerce businesses for their package deliveries. Think FedEx or UPS, a same type of service. Even my order is not on Amazon. They will pick up and deliver. And we know the Amazon delivery service is honestly really good. Now, I don't know if that's tracked in the app. I love that Amazon does the photos. I just feel more, they have that delivery system is really strong. So they're trying to be really competitive with UPS, which a lot of people, they don't really talk about. I haven't seen much news about it, okay? So that worries me because that's like a Goliath and they're so freaking competitive with everything and try to undercut people. So it is what it is. Brandon, you have ULTY. I was in ULTY because I thought it would do like a little, I haven't actually checked in a couple of weeks. Let me take a look. So ULTY is a yield max fund. It pays weekly. And who doesn't like a weekly dividend? But here's the problem. I bought it $6.30 and it kept slowly going down. Now I was getting that nice dividend. Okay. Just like Brandon here, it's getting a nice dividend. And I love dividends, but you have to look at the underlying asset keeps going down. So it's $1 less. That's like almost 20% less, even though it's paying those dividends than when I bought it maybe like 2-3 months ago. And that becomes a problem with these because it keeps going down. Oren, what's going on? So for me, the underlying asset, so the share price, it keeps slowly going down, right? But you're like, oh, but it's making this huge dividend. I'm paying taxes on the dividends, okay? So, I mean, immediately, like it's a big chunk of that. And I don't think ULTYs, there's two types of dividends or distributions, however you want to call it. I'm just called dividends to, make it simple. There is a qualified, which is going to be at a lower tax rate. And then there's dividends or distributions that are at your regular standard rate, as income. Those things hurt. So when you're looking at dividend stocks or ETFs, you also want to find out, is this a qualified dividend? So it's going to be taxed at a much lower rate, or is this going to be taxed just like its income? So please remember that. David, and I'm trying to go through all these comments here, guys. Let's see. I am still in Open Door. Okay, Open Door is now sitting at $7.57. If we wanted the after hours price, we're at just under 750 at this point. Open Door, I would like to buy a little bit more. I'm just in a lot of stocks right now, so I don't have a lot of extra cash to be buying this. So I wouldn't mind getting in Open Door and dollar cost average. I still think Open Door, this is me personally, okay, I still feel like Open Door at this price is a little high relative to the company. Now, I know we have the new CEO, we have more new management, there's new products and services coming, there's all this stuff. There's a lot happening, okay? A lot of good stuff is happening with Open Door. But that doesn't mean like when the earnings come out in, what is it, probably 6-7 weeks, those earnings are not going to be pretty. And people are going to be like, wait a second, this doesn't look good. And then we already know the real estate market for the rest of the year is pretty much cooked. The rates aren't really coming down. Now, next year could be positive. So what I'm thinking is if there's better entry points for the rest of the year, which we have 3 months basically, maybe there might be some other entry points in the next 6 months until the stock can turn around. That means turnaround, guys. Until the stock turns around, I wouldn't go all in at any price. Now, Chuck Hard, what's going on, man? I wouldn't go in like I did in, what was it, June or July, and I bought 10,000 shares at $1.99. That was great, right? That was a good trade, right? By the way, I'm drinking some amazing Dominican coffee. Earning expectations, can we see a soar in Open Door? Yeah, I think we could. But the problem, once again, with Open Door, the real estate market is just not good right now, guys. Where's the real? I mean, okay, there's going to be little pockets and such, and I'm not trying to say bad about Open Door. I just think there could be definitely some other entry points. So I would just dollar cost average into this one, unless you're looking for a quick trade. Obviously, a quick trade, that's a different situation. DG, I am so new to this. Great advice, thank you, DG. I don't give investing advice. I'm just kind of talking about what we have going on. But I think this is a great place that you can continue to learn. You do your own research, and I want to make sure everyone remembers all our financial situations are different. So what we buy and sell and hold short-term, long-term are all going to be different. So just be careful of what you learn on these platforms, by the way. Chuck Hart says Kaz will be the best software company. Now, this is the thing. Software, I think Kaz is the CEO of Open Door is going to do a lot for the company. I agree. It's going to take some time to get all that stuff done, and I know they're working on it. He was tweeting about how he left Figma and stuff. So usually what you're doing in Figma is you're building out all the designs for the new products. You have the user experience, but all that stuff is going to take a little bit of time to do. So yeah, let's look at RR. I saw a lot of comments in here about RR. We're talking about Rich Tech Robotics. What happened? And once again, solid companies in down days go like yesterday, 3%, 4%, a little more risky. Rich Tech Robotics were down almost 10% in regular market, another 4% in after hours. So just remember this, like that's when you buy into these stocks that are a little bit more risky, you have to have the stomach for it. Okay. So this one's definitely has gotten hit. This is back down to 568, which that's pretty crazy. Rich Tech Robotics. But remember, it's at 568, but in a month ago, it was at $3.22. This thing's still up almost 100%, guys. So let's see here. A lot of these robotic stocks are going to be really interesting. I'm going to probably do another video this weekend about robotics because it's been pretty hot. Let's see. Thoughts on NVIDIA? Chuck Hart is right here, guys. If we really have an issue with these rare earth minerals and a lot of stuff going on, this could put NVIDIA could be getting hurt. Let me see what happened with them. Yeah, for NVIDIA to go down 5%. Let's see, TechMan. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. They're going to have to figure something out. My portfolio is half in SoFi. Oh, half. That's one of the. I don't know if you guys saw the video where I'm like, have you ever thought of just selling your whole entire portfolio and investing in just one stock? And it's because I saw a video. You would have to have so much conviction. Now, for me personally, SoFi is, if I was going to do an individual stock and not an ETF that is a basket of stocks, I feel SoFi is strong, guys. SoFi has a good team. They're releasing a lot of new products and services. SoFi has been a strong one, Cap, where the entry point is going to be interesting. I love SoFi, great stock. Yeah, SoFi is so good, guys. You guys got me to 10. Okay, you're showing off now. We're at 10,000. We're still going heavy here. By the way, if you're over here and you have a plus sign, what are we even doing? We got the best channel. YYAI. I'm hoping for a YYAI comeback. I didn't expect yesterday. I don't think anyone did. So being in a risky stock and then you know, we got that happening. It's crushing me. I just saw in the comments, you. And I am going to do another recap of stocks that we've talked about because I've been taking these transcripts and then throwing it in AI and ChatGPT and extracting a lot of stocks that we talk about. So as you guys are mentioning stock tickers here, what I'm doing is I can do recaps of this. And because I've been live for what, 10, 15 minutes? You guys might be coming on right now and be like, well, what about all the other stock picks that everyone's talking about? So Energy Fuels, this is another one that was up Friday. And it's interesting to me. I don't know about you guys, but when a stock is up on a day like Friday, interesting to me, okay? So this one, I don't know. I'll put this one on the watch list. I'm looking at ticker UUUU. That's 4 U's, okay? It's a market cap about 4 bill. So it's still, it's still up there as far as this is not a tiny company. Some of these penny stock companies that are, cooked. Somebody said S-Bucks. We're going to get to that in a second. I got to talk to you guys about that. I'm adding you. Let me see. Oh, shoot. I'm not signed in. I'm going to add UUU to my watch list. Somebody commented Starbucks. I haven't looked at that one in probably a few weeks. Here's the thing about Starbucks, guys. Starbucks has had a tough year, down 17%. The dividend's looking pretty good at 3% entry point here. Here's the problem with Starbucks. A friend just texted me the other day. He lives in Soho, New York. And he's like, hey, Mikey, I just went to that Chinese coffee place. Now, I spend a lot of time in China for work. And there's a place in China called Luckin Coffee. Luckin Coffee. This place is good. And their concept is good. You have to order from the app in China. You're da-da-da-da. It's super cheap. I'm not talking these $5, $6 cups of coffee. But it's good coffee. The drinks are good. Their system, the way they have the costs and everything is really good, okay? He says, Mikey, I just went to that Chinese place and I was like, Luckin Coffee? And he's like, yeah, it was good. And the experience, it was just a little different. That was the first store in the US. And what I'm a little worried about is Luckin is starting to come into the US and take them over. Now, I think Luckin Coffee is public. Luckin Coffee, yep, because I see my history, I search it. Luckin Coffee, I guess it's on the OTC, the bulletin board, at $39 a share, and that's ticker LKNCY. If you want to do some research, and if you've never heard of Luckin Coffee, that's why you're here on the live, because we're talking about new companies and businesses we don't know about. This thing is massive in China. Now, Starbucks is popular in China too. They have some beautiful Starbucks in China. It's very skewed, I'm telling you. Luckin Coffee, ticker LKNCY. I don't own it. I haven't bought it. I've thought about it. It's close to the 52-week high. Okay, I got 32 comments to go through here. I bought SMCI at 53 cents. Let's see, I haven't looked at that. That was on the watch list. Wait, SMCI, what am I missing here? You bought it at $53. Oh, I think you're fine. If you bought it at $53, Jump Super Microcomputer. But I don't know. Don't take that as advice. Yeah, we just talked about you. Mama Bear, Chainlink. What is Chainlink? I'm just trying to catch up to some of these Chainlink stock. I don't know this stock. Ticker LI. Are we talking about ticker LINK? Who is that? MOUUU? Look, you could be like this stock ticker we've been talking about. See that? MOUUU? Chainlink is, I've never seen this stock. I don't even know what they do. It's a cryptocurrency launched in it's one of the crypto stuff. I don't know anything about this. It's had an okay year, up 61%. Their history has been kind of interesting. Wow. That thing was 32 cents. Okay, let me just check in with the comments here. Do you guys ever think of just starting to go through some of these tiny stocks. I'm talking like stocks under $1 that are like 30 cents, something like Chainlink, okay? Chainlink a while ago was like 30 cents. And just say, you know what? I'm going to buy, you know, 100 shares, 200 shares, 500 shares. Put in a separate account, not your normal trading account, right? Open up like a Robinhood or a Webull or SoFi account, right? And just buy like a couple hundred shares. I'm going to put $100 into this, and in 10 years, see what happens. Do you guys ever think about doing that? That would be just like a fun little thing and keep track. I might even do that just for funds, like some of these stocks that we talk about, and just put a little bit in there. Let's see, look at team stock. By the way, we're at 15. That's pretty crazy. And if you're over here and there's a plus sign, that means you don't follow. Let's see, team. Oh, yeah. So this is a popular company already, 37 billion. See, this is the thing. This is a good company, solid company, ticker TEAM. It was down 2%. The solid companies didn't get hit too bad. The other ones, but it's not looking good for the year. What is going on here? For the year, they're down 22%. Let's see here. Yeah, this is going the wrong direction. Ticker TEAM. Okay, I would be a little careful because everything has been on fire. Ticker DEFT, DeFi Technologies at $2. Guys, what are we looking at here? This one, a lot of people have been talking. This thing had surged up over $4. If we have like a surge in the market, and this thing could hit, I don't know. I might buy a little bit of, if I make some money on like BURU or something, I might buy a little bit of DeFi Technologies, just a little bit, not too much. Okay, I got AMKR at 28. Tanya's a manufacturing. Sorry, I'm trying to go through these things. Let's see, Mimi. What do you think about Mimi? I'm trying to find some stocks we don't always talk about. Ticker MIMI. That way we can all have different things to look up and research because, you know, we got the weekend and we're doing a little research. This ticker is Mint Corporation. If I had my Minty hat, this would be perfect timing. 163 million market cap. What's going on with this? Up 60% in a year. Oh, these stocks, it's losing 7 cents a share. Okay, I like stock. If this thing could turn it around to get profitable, might be interesting. Hoi Long Chan Mint Corporation Limited's. Now, where is this stock? Okay, so Mint Incorporation, ticker MINT, today announced that the company and certain shareholders, including entities, is this a Chinese stock? Angry volatility. I don't know. Is MINT? I'm looking at the name and I'm thinking it's a Chinese stock. Now, I would be also, if this trade battle heats up, just putting this out there. And I was a little concerned before. I don't know if you guys remember when US China they were going like this. At some point, they were talking about all the Chinese companies kicking them off the US markets. If that ever happened with some of these, that's kind of like a big one that they could pull, like the US, as far as like a bargaining chip. That would be scary. Okay, so this is a Hong Kong-based interior design, and I don't know. So ticker MINT is like a Hong Kong-based design firm. I would be careful unless they're using like heavy AI. I would be crazy. Honest Company, ticker HNST, which I've had for quite some time. And I wish when it was up at $6, I sold this thing because I've just been watching it sit around forever. I don't know what's going on with Honest other than I've been holding it for a while and I'm down big on ticker HNST, Jessica Alba's company. The good news is they're finally profitable. Okay, they got a PE ratio of 66, and I'm happy about that. So I don't mind holding profitable companies. Hopefully they can get the profits up and we can make some money. So that would be amazing. So maybe they'd make a comeback and I would hold it. I don't know. Talking about ticker HNST, don't look at their 5-year chart. It looks like somebody fell off a cliff. Okay, let's see here. APP. Trying to catch up with the comments here, guys. Lots of comments going on. Oh, actually, they were talking about AppLovin in the marketing conference. Okay, so here's some news about AppLovin that you guys might not know for ticker. Anyone investing in APP, this is some news for you that I don't think a lot of people know yet. From a marketing perspective, where they make a lot of their revenue, and this is why I go to these conferences. Okay, they were talking before the marketing spend was so high, so like the buy-in for your advertising was great and millions of dollars like commitment, okay? They're lowering that tremendously. So what that means is it's going to open it up. So probably what they were doing, this is what I'm thinking. They probably had a super high tier to get into advertise with these guys, okay? And in the back end, this means in the back end, they were building out the advertising platform because this takes a while to build to get it really good, kind of like a Meta and such, right? They're building this out. I believe, I don't have, this is not, confirmed information, but this is just from doing this stuff my freaking whole life. They probably built out this side so it's a little bit more user friendly and just makes it more of an open platform. Like any business can get on Meta and start advertising. They started maybe doing this for AppLovin because they said they were talking people that spend like literally 10, $20 million a year on ads. I'm sitting next to these people. They're talking about how the platform is opening up more. If that happens, then a lot more people might be able to start advertising, which is going to generate a lot more revenue for them. They're going to come up with more ways to make additional revenue. It's interesting to me. They were down 5% over the year. They're up 287%. They're not a small company. They're at 192 billion. But I don't know about you. In 2023, this was a $10 stock. And if we had these conversations back in 2023, I might have owned some of these and I would have been up like a bazillion percent. That's why we're here, guys. That's why it's Saturday. Shout out to anybody that's on this live on a Saturday talking about stocks. We could be doing other things, but we're just trying to find those next couple picks. Okay, throw those stocks in the comments. I'm trying to see what we're looking at. We're going to take a quick look at ticker ROOT. Okay. I see your NAK. You guys are pumping that NAK too much. I see it too much. Root Inc. I've never seen this company before. Let's see here. They're profitable at least. Let's see, up 90%. Does it not worry anybody? Can anybody let me know that every time I'm looking up, not every time, a lot of times I'm looking up these stocks in the last year, they're up like 60%, 80%, 90%, 100%. Does that bother anyone? Is that a little bit scary? Or everyone's just like, no, that it's just gonna freaking go pump forever. Root and Equitable Holdings stocks trade down. What you need to know. A bull case. Oh, there's a bull case theory. It became a bullish theory on Root value investing subreddit. Root insurance. Guys, insurance. I don't know what's going on with these insurance companies. They're making too much money. My insurance keeps going up, and I never have any claims. Okay, it's too crazy. Let me see. What's the deal for Monday? Stocks going up. Monday's going to be a wild day. Like we're going to remember it's technically a holiday, but the market's open and it's going to be a wild day because I think we're going to have a little less volume, but trying to digest Friday. And like I said, I made a video about, that Trump was in an interview. There's too many platforms. I'm not on Truth Social to see what this guy's saying. But maybe if we have a little retraction in these harsh comments, we could see a little bit of a rip. So hopefully, but it could keep going down. I mean, we could just start sliding. Let's see. When Chuck Hart likes a stock, we got to take a look at it. LAC. Lithium Americas, down a little bit. This thing has been, Trump gave Lithium Americas his magic touch. Yeah, Lithium Americas was a $2.89 stock, just like a week or 2 weeks ago. A month ago, it was like a $3 stock. So that would have been a good double right there. But anything, I'm going to do a little more research this weekend and pump out some videos. So make sure that you're following so you don't miss out these videos. I'm going to do a little more research on all sorts of the mineral stocks and copper stocks and just anything related to mining. Mining's, regardless, I think the U.S. has figured out that they can't be reliant. It's too dangerous from a national security, okay, not just business level, from a national security level to be 100% reliant on so many other countries that they don't have the best relationships with. Austin Moore View. Yeah, Chuck Hart adding View and QQQ. I just talked to one of my friends. He used to actually be on the trading floor at New York Stock Exchange back in the day during the whole, World Trade Center stuff. And he thinks that S&P 500 is going to easily 8,000. It's going to keep roaring and ripping. So, obviously we're going to have some bumps in the roads, but this guy's a pretty smart guy. Should we buy the dip? Well, you're going to have to wait till next week to buy the dip. Let's see. Let's go. Yeah, let's go. Right now is the time to buy while it's still dipping. We're going to see. So here's the thing. If you're questioning, and this is what I would do. I'm not going to tell you guys what to do, obviously. If I was questioning to buy the dip, right? And let's just say I had $3,000 to invest. I would probably do it in maybe like tranches of $1,000 each, and kind of like if it's going to keep going down, because nobody knows the future. If someone, Mikey, is the stock market going to go up or down? Money? Nobody knows. Let's be realistic. Nobody knows. But there are strategies that a lot of people do where if it keeps dipping down, you keep putting money in. Now, and the same thing as it goes up. That's if you don't feel comfortable going all in on something all at once. It's just going to be your level of comfortability and what you feel like you're comfortable doing. That's it. LAC tomorrow up. Well, LAC, Lithium Americas was down 7%, which I'm surprised after this news. Anybody under the 50 should buy all dips. Yeah, that's probably a good one there. Never catch a falling knife. And Dino's, this is a saying I say all the time, never catch a falling knife. And that's why I generally say that you buy it down so your dollar cost your average, you dollar cost average your way down. The easiest way to do it if you don't feel like just going all in and having issues. So someone's asking, do I still hold RZLV? No, I sold that when I felt like the market was going to just tank the other day or the other week. I did make a video about it because I do document everything I'm doing, and that's part of why I'm here on this platform, is to document everything because it's interesting. I sold RZLV. It was up in like the 7 range, and I really wish that I bought it when it was higher. So let's see here. RZLV has had a horrible month, by the way. I sold it, I think, in the like 5s or like close to 6, and I really wish I held on to it. So RZLV, let's see. What do you think about Intel? God. Hey, Intel's got to do something, guys. Let's be realistic. Intel was a dog for quite some time. We're doing the home tour. We just got back from Denver at like almost midnight last night, and here I am on my live, Let's see. Anyways, Intel is on the verge of old Nikki. That's what I'm saying. I don't understand. A lot of money going into Intel. But what were these guys doing for the last 10, 20 years, guys? What was Intel doing? What was Intel doing for 20 years? That's what I want to know. They've just been sitting complacent. Everybody else is doing everything else. It's crazy to me. Is the market open Monday? Yep. So I made a video about this. Market is open Monday. I don't day trade. I'll buy something every once in a while, but let's hop back on the stocks. SLDP. Solid Power. Is this a solar solution? We need better solar power here, guys. They need to come up with like a cheaper panel, something thin, something that's easy to install or something. We need a better solar solution. But anyway, I think this is a solid state batteries. I don't know. I'd be careful with some of these battery companies depending on if they're reliant on getting these rare earth metals. But the play could be, okay, let me know in the comments what you think about the play here. The play could be if a lot of these solid state or people that are reliant on the rare earth metals super tank, and then at some point they figure something out, which they always do because business is business. It could rocket back up. But I don't know where that's going to be. None of us do. Keep going with that ULTY. Just be careful. I know those stocks, I know those things those dividends are nice, but just watch that declining share price because that thing drives me crazy. See, that's good coffee, guys. Good morning, everybody. By the way, if you're visiting or if you're on here live and you just want to say what city or country you're in, I'm always interested to know where we are around the world because we do get people from all over the world. Let's see. Interested to see where Alabama, Florida. Let's see here. Ireland. That's awesome. Roll Tide, Kansas City. Man, we got people from all over the place. Florida, Chesapeake, Virginia. I love Chesapeake Bay. in Maryland. Best crabs in the world, Maryland blue crab. Spain, dang, that's awesome. Norway. Look at this, guys. Talk about an international life. Fort Worth, Texas, Singapore. Man, I've been all over Asia. I've not been to Singapore. I've got to get to Singapore. Mississippi, Pittsburgh, Alabama, Punjab. Let's go, guys. Look, this is so cool. And this is interesting, right? And what I like about Germany, Israel, what I like about these Canada lives is we have people from all over the world that we connect here in one place. And all of us are going to have different stock tickers, different research, and different ideas that we're all sharing together. And it's interesting to have different perspectives because it's great. That's what's great. Alabama, what's up, Bama? Let's see here. Let's see. HOND, HCM2 Acquisition Corp. This thing's about doubled, up 88%. Let's see. Oh, is this nuclear? Terrestrial energy selected for DOE Office of Nuclear Energy Fuel Line. Fuel line, Charlotte, North Carolina. What's up, Charlotte, North Carolina? Terrestrial Energy Inc., a developer, small module. I don't know about this one, but if the government, it looks like the government might be getting involved somehow, and this might be like a parent company. So that's going to be interesting. Georgia, what's up, Teddy Bear Bailey? Yeah, I'm in Georgia. So guys, I'm in Atlanta right now. And if you don't know me and you're new to this, and if you're crazy not to be one of my followers right now, my name is Mikey. I live in Atlanta, Georgia. I travel about 100 days a year. So I often will be doing lives and my videos all over the world. I've been an entrepreneur for 20 years. I've been investing for 30 years, 49 years old. And I have a pretty, I guess, realistic approach to investing and entrepreneurship. I still haven't talked about entrepreneurship on my channel. I plan on doing more entrepreneurship videos because I've been doing it my whole life. I've made every mistake and I make sure that I help tell people about my mistakes so that way they don't make all the same mistakes. I'm also an author. I have a bunch of my books back here. So I have a book called Fearless Beauty. It's pretty good for entrepreneurship. But that's me, just in case you're new on the lives and you didn't know who the heck I was and you're just like, who's this guy with the hat that says, let's go? Okay. And I love investing in stocks and I'm documenting my journey here on TikTok. And I get so many ideas from these comments. It's crazy. Okay. Yes, let's go. BTQ Technologies navigating the financial maze. Oh, they're doing some navigating of the see a swift experience like really mainly market sentiment trading down. BTQ. Okay, this is the thing. BTQ was down 20% yesterday. And once again, I say, when you have a big down day like BTQ, father-in-law just bought 20,000 worth of BTQ. When you have a huge down day, you got to be careful. Over the 5 days, it's still up. So it was down 20% on Friday. It's still up 35%. What news this thing had, but it really pumped BTQ. BTQ Technology soared to an all-time high on Tuesday. This is Tuesday of last week, jumping 51%. Cheer the inclusion of two key executives to help support during the session. BTQ, it's got two new executives. So rapidly expanding quantum. So it's a quantum computer. Yeah, these I'm bullish on AI, but I'm also still a little worried about AI. And I've got to do this video. There was this chart in Bloomberg about like the whole AI thing. It's a wild map of AI, guys. Like I think I have it, most of my kind of notes on it. So I got to do a video, but you'll see it maybe this weekend. I got to get to making some more videos this weekend. My YY AI is not looking good. Although there was some penny stocks. Oh, okay. Got some news. Tip ranks. Let's see what it says. This article actually has 3 penny stocks to watch. So this article is saying 3 penny stocks to watch. One is BURU, right? Specializes in high power, high brightness blue laser systems, which we know about. And I bought that last Friday. I maybe should have sold when it was at 70 cents. I feel like I got a little greedy, but there's supposedly some meetings coming up for this company that it could maybe get some government contracts somewhere. And if we got that, this Nuburo, if it starts getting some news about some government contracts and some other stuff, man, what do you guys think? $1, $2? Like this might be a $2 stock. So I was just like, let's ride it out. Let me not get out too early. Ticker, the other one they have in this article is about this one. So write this one down. Ticker NXL, Nexalin Technology. Has anyone heard about Nexalin Technology? Okay. It's a medical device company focused on developing neurostimulation products for the treatment of mental health in the US and China. We need some work there. Let's see here. I don't know what this thing does. I don't know why they have it as a stock to watch. And then the other one, Conexa Sports Technologies, which we've talked about here, YYAI. So YYAI, it did change its name to Airwa Inc. as part of its expansion into the Web3 space. Airwa is increasing focus on blockchain technology and its leading role in the new digital finance sector. I think YYAI is still interesting. It's I'm talking tiny company, okay? So you got to be really careful with these because you can lose every penny of that money. And that's why I say don't buy the stock, because I did. Any money I invest in some of these, if I lose it all, it's fine. Like, I have my foundation built, okay? But I like playing around with the little stocks. There's nothing wrong with that. AI is definitely the future, but so much out there. What is a good price to buy RR or miss the boat? I don't know. Some of these, it depends. We're going to have to see how everything does next week. You might be able to get in some of these pretty cheap. They undersea sonar and batteries. What is this one? KRKNF? I've never heard of this one. Kraken Robotics. Oh, I think I have heard that name, Kraken Robotics. Okay. This one is not, I think, in the sense of a little bit of a different robotics. I don't know. This one has been up, even after going down Friday, still up 32% in a year, 224% robotics last year. Well, I wasn't on the platform even posting last year, so I guess that's why. Yeah, these stocks have been absolutely killing it. But the question is this thing making money? Oh, hold on. The live wants to make sure I'm still here. That means I've probably been going live for a while. Yep, we still live. Let's see. This stock was where was this thing? Oh, that's a 5-year. And you could have got in this thing at 30 cents. It's at $4. Do you ever just look at these and say, shoulda, woulda, coulda? Missed opportunities with a lot of these stocks? Let's see, it says a PE ratio of 81, so maybe it is making money. Should you be adding Kraken Robotics to your watch list today? I don't know. Should we? Let's see what this thing says. Let's see. It's common for many investors and unexperienced to buy shares. Okay, here's something good. It's common for many investors, especially those who are inexperienced, to buy shares in companies with a good story, even if these companies are loss-making, right? Not making money. Unfortunately, these high-risk investments often have little probability or ever paying off, and many investors pay a price to learn their lesson. I talk about this a lot, guys. This is why I'm in and out a lot in these short stocks. You're like, people, I get the message, bro, you sold too early. No. This is exactly why smart investors understand that sometimes you get in these stocks and they never make money, and eventually it just like there gets hype behind them and then it's gone. There is nothing wrong with making a profit. And I'll tell you, every time I feel like I sell stock, it just goes up afterwards. It's just how it is. A loss-making company is yet to prove itself with profit, and eventually the inflow of external capital may dry up. Okay, so we're getting to Kraken Robotics, okay? In contrast to all that, many investors prefer to focus on companies like Kraken Robotics, which has not only revenues, but also profits. While this doesn't necessarily speak to whether it's undervalued, the profitability in the business is enough to warrant some appreciation, especially if it's growing. This is actually a pretty good article on Kraken. This is on Yahoo Finance. So if you search Kraken, but that's ticker KRKNF if you want to check that out. You can take a look at that. Let's see here. Yeah, let's see what happened to AMD. I didn't even look at what happened. Down 7% on Friday. That hurt. I mean, for a company that size to go down, that much, AMD. So that's part of the entire, like this finance loop that's going on with AI right now. Okay. So as you guys probably know, AMD spiked this week on Wednesday after they found out that OpenAI was investing in AMD, right? Now, how did OpenAI maybe get this money? Was it because NVIDIA? So you have AMD and NVIDIA, they're competitors neck and neck, right? So NVIDIA over here, they took a bunch of money. I think, I don't remember all this stuff. This is not my job. So if I'm off on some of these numbers, I'm sorry, but it's not my job. And NVIDIA, I believe, invested $100 million in OpenAI, and then OpenAI invested the money into AMD. Doesn't it feel like this money is like Do you guys see what I'm saying here? Like, does NVIDIA, I don't know. You see what I'm saying here, right, guys? Do you ever short stocks? If I short a stock, I'll do a put, meaning the option, right? Because if I lose it all on that short on the put, it's fine. But that's the only thing. I don't, I'm much more of a long-term investor in good quality ETFs and stocks or stocks that pay dividends. I love my passive income. That's what I'm working on for. I started really my passive income journey about 2 years ago. That's what I'm working on now. But I just have fun trading stocks here and there. See if we can make some money. See what I'm saying? This is to make some money. All right. AMD, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with this thing. Amazon is freaking good time for Amazon, I think. You can't go wrong with Amazon. BURU. Yeah, we talked about BURU. BURU is supposed to have this meeting next week. If it goes well, I don't know if the news will come out. It was up on Friday. I'm excited. I didn't sell my shares of BURU. I know you guys asked me about that. Somebody said they're shorting Costco. I actually had an employee from Costco reach out to me and said, what do you think about long-term? Costco, I think we can all agree Costco is a great shopping experience, okay? Now, and Costco pays a nice little dividend. Great for the employees. But here's the thing. In order for a company to double, technically their profits need to double. Now, how can it double from here? I don't know. It is what it is. That's going to be a tough call. I like something with a little bit more runway if I'm going to invest in an individual stock. If it's in an ETF, look, let the people that manage the ETF, I pay them a small fee, right? That's the ETF charges you. It'd probably be worth like $2 million from a $30,000 investment today. We all make mistakes. But then we started buying properties every year for inside our business, me and my business partner, and then my own real estate, like a couple rental properties. And then over the last couple of years, I started getting into stocks more. And that's pretty much the short story. So I don't bore you guys with what the hell I'm doing. But let's see. Nobody knows about what's going to happen Monday, but we love talking about it. I know. Let's see. Hey, Mikey, do you invest in crypto? I don't invest in crypto. So like as a real estate guy, I like investing in real estate and I like investing in stocks. And recently trying to build up more of my passive income portfolio. So to take care of my bills. So just so you guys know, one thing, good exercise, if you've ever done this. Oh, crude oil. Cool. Let me check crude oil while I'm talking about this. A good exercise for you guys is, I like to say, like, if you want to figure out when you're done, I don't want to say done in life, but like really when you are like pretty set financially, is just go into a Google sheet. It's free. And do this is a little exercise. And maybe one person will do this out of the 100 people that are on the live. And, this will be life-changing for you. Put all your expenses. You can do it by category. So it's like your house. So your house is like your house payment, gas, electric, internet, blah, blah, blah. Your digital, that could be iTunes, Netflix, Hulu, blah, blah, blah. And you go through and you do, your car. So it's like your car payment, your car insurance, monthly gas, and put a little in maintenance, right? You build out all your monthly expenses. So you have here. Then you start going through and saying, hey, how much do I have in passive income? Okay. And this is a good exercise because in theory, if you can live off your passive income and not rely on a job or anything else, you're going to sleep better at night. I promise you're going to sleep better at night. So what you can do is, as you start making more passive income, you can start checking off things. So let's just say your first bill at iTunes is $10 a month. Once you're making $10 a month in passive income, you can kind of highlight that column. And then once you have that column highlighted, you know that as long as you don't sell this asset, which could be like a stock that pays a dividend, this will be paid for pretty much for you the rest of your life. Then you start looking at how many expenses you have. And then what you slowly do is like, hey, I got to figure out how I can either reduce some of these expenses. Do I really need Hulu, Netflix, Disney, and every other service? No, right? You can reduce some of these expenses. You start focusing a little bit more on your passive income because once you have this documented and focused, you're going to be able to focus on this. You're going to make much better investing decisions. You're just going to stop buying the BS stuff that most of us don't need because in the US, we overconsume, and you can start checking off the boxes. So what I've been doing is checking off all the boxes, and that's kind of like a quick thing. That's just a quick way to do that. But if you can kind of do your own version of that, I'm telling you, you're going to your life will be so much better because you're going to have a much better understanding of your real financial picture and from a passive income perspective. And for me, After my whole life, the only real passive income I've ever found is in investing in stocks that pay dividends. Hopefully something quality that you don't have to worry about and you can sleep well at night. ETFs are great because it's a basket of stocks. Real estate is not passive, okay? Like you own a home, you're going to deal with a management company, that's fine, but the management company is going to call you, hey, your AC blew up. What do you want to do? And you're like, this shit ain't passive. Damn. Okay, so just remember that. Once you're set, you won't have car house payments. Yeah, and that's the thing about having that list. If you I don't have a car payment. I had this really sick. Oh God, this car was sick. Anyways, let's get back to this business here. Just we're hashing it out today. I actually started my Google sheet already. That's what I'm talking about. Usher Hash has already started the Google sheet with the expenses, just utilities and food. That is freaking awesome. So you guys, this is really important stuff. And I promise you, I don't know how old everybody is here, but the sooner you figure this out, I never had somebody, and this is why I'm on these platforms. I never had anybody in my family, friends or family, telling me this kind of stuff. If I had someone at a younger age and it clicked, right? I just want this to click for some people. Your life infinitely will be better. And it's never too late to start, okay? I'm thinking about QYLD. Okay, come on down with me. I actually own QYLD. The problem with QYLD, even though I own it, I've thought about selling it. I'm just leaving it for now. If you look at the underlying asset of QYLD, there's no real price appreciation. What I would consider, I'm not telling you to buy this because I don't give investing advice. Look at QQQI and SPYI. Those may be better choices because the actual underlying asset, the stock slowly goes up. QYLD, I've had for a couple years, make about $100 a month. I put that money in QYLD and I said, I'm putting you here. I don't actually have this money anymore. And then every month I get a dividend of $100, which pays for, I don't know, my water bill. So I know if I don't touch QYLD, my water bill and probably something else is paid for the rest of my life. That's it. Okay. So think about that. Let's see. I'm thinking about QYLD. I'm 57 and a newbie. Look, better late than never. I tell you what. Thank you, Mikey. Your wise words, pure gold. Thank you. I'm in my 30s. I gave up, lost a lot. Lost a lot. SoFi wood, you can't give up. The problem is SoFi wood, you were probably getting caught in the social media hype of stocks and investing and started investing in riskier assets, which is going to be a major problem. That's why I continue to tell you guys, I invest in some of these riskier stocks because I have a solid foundation built. If I invest and I tell you guys, okay, I invested in new BURU, I invested $5,000. If it went to zero that day, I'm still okay. Okay. And I don't say that from a place like, oh, I'm okay. There's people that can invest 50,000, 100,000 in something that good as zero. They're okay. Never compare yourself with anybody, right? But so you have to build these more solid foundation stuff, guys. By the way, if you're one of the 97 people here and you don't follow, what do we even do? And I can't believe we're at 31,000, by the way. That's pretty incredible. Let's see. You feel like you're up against Mike Tyson in his prime and you get up against Mike Tyson, he knocks you out, you get down. Well, I just kept getting up, knocking me down. I mean, I had really bad years, like really tough years, guys. Like it was so tough. I mean, couldn't rub two pennies together because I kept trying to start businesses, right? Tanya, you really think that Tenaya is not? I don't know about that. I have said I have to do a little bit more research. It's tough when you're trying to keep these things active and going, to really sit down. Slowly building my portfolio. Nubura made me profit thanks to, don't. I didn't give you advice. You bought it on your own kind of thing. I did not give you advice to buy Nubura. But if you did buy that Friday when I did, you could have made some easy money. Even today with it being kind of down, you still could have 28 cents. You almost double your money 1 week. But what I do, so let me give an example of how I'm operating at the moment, okay? So let's just say I sold Nubura, and let's say I could have made like 10 grand on it in a week, right? When I sell Nubura, what I'll probably do is, let's say if I sold it today, I make 5 grand, right? Well, I can't sell it today, so on Monday. I'll keep that certain money that I'm like, this is kind of my play money. I'll keep that to the side. I might add another 1,000 in there, right? I might bump it up a little bit, but that other money I don't say, oh, let's say I have 10,000 in this pot that I can lose today. I don't take that pot of money and just invest it back into something risky. I take some of that out, okay? And I'll put it into something that I know I can put in like SCHG. This thing's not going anywhere ever. Okay. Like SCHD, solid dividend player. I'll take a chunk of that, maybe 4 grand, and put in SCHD. I forget about that. And I got my funny money. If I lose a little, I'm going to have to build it back up. But, we've been talking stocks. We've been doing pretty good. Okay. We've been doing really good here. Don't buy dips until stocks are at their, yeah, hoping we see more downside. And this is the thing to remember, guys. You make money after the stocks have really gone down. Okay. Like this is how millionaires are made. When these stocks really crash and you get in at the right time, wow, this is freaking good. Do you think it's better to go into business with a partner or alone? I love the entrepreneurship questions, by the way, because really I love investing. But when I tell you, I know like 100 times more about entrepreneurship, marketing online and all that stuff. It's crazy. Mikey, have you ever considered making a Discord server? People keep asking me. I don't know if I feel like, I don't know. It's a lot to manage all that. Better to go in a business partner. If you do get a partner in business, okay, so here's the partnership. You and your partner. Your partner better have like opposite skills of you. If you're like a great people person, great at marketing, and this person's great people person, great at marketing, maybe not the best partner. Like for me, my business, I'm people person, great at marketing, freaking a little bit crazy. My business partner is like great with finance, conservative, great with real estate. Like we're opposite. And I've learned the real estate side over, a long time, but this guy, real estate is next level. Okay. Guy. So it is what it is. So just be careful. Sorry, someone's calling me. Let me text them. Text please. That's what I found is if you get someone opposite, right? I have another company where like she's the face of the business. I'm the back end, right? So she's the face of the business. She does the videos. She does all the stuff, the education. I'm on the back side where I'm like, okay, I'll do the marketing. I'll set up all the technology stacks, all this. And this company literally I have my assistants helping with stuff. I've built it to where I make passively $10,000 a month. Literally like, that's it. But that's over so much experience, and it's going to take you guys time to get to that point. And there's people that make hundreds of thousands, millions like that, right? I'm small potato here. And the only reason why we're all not making more money is we just don't know how. We haven't figured it out. That's why we have to keep pushing and doing. Figma. Oh man, do you guys remember that Figma IPO? We're going to talk about Figma for a second. Think about the Figma IPO. That thing ripped. When it was at like 130, 140, it was at $142 all-time high. Why was Figma at 142 when what was the IPO? I don't remember. $30. How did it get to $142? I was like, guys, this is not realistic. This is not good. It makes no sense. Figma itself we use it in our business. It is a great design tool. Okay. I do like it. What also does worry me is with how fast AI is moving. Okay. How fast AI is moving. Can something quickly replace Figma? I don't know. Can somebody build something like Figma using code with AI? AI is going to be so crazy for these SaaS companies. It's a little worrisome, guys. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. What do you guys think about Figma? Okay. What do you think? Does anyone use Figma? Do you understand what I'm talking about here? Like the way things are moving so quick, it is a little bit scary to me that, we might be a year or two away where you can just ask ChatGPT to do the same thing as Figma, and it's just a prompt, and you're not paying all this extra money. The ChatGPT agents now, I don't know if you've seen the agents, right? So it's like it goes through all the different processes. It's crazy. Yeah. Let me see. Can I call an Uber and have package? One sec. Sorry, guys. One sec. I'm trying to do some business over here. I got you guys here, and I got the stocks that we're researching over here. New BURU, all hype. I don't know. It's a lot of hype. Can it do well? I hope so. I'm just trying to make some money on it. Did I buy New BURU thinking I'm going to hold this thing for years? No. I hold it's very rare I would do that. Although I did buy SoFi when SoFi was beat up. So I held SoFi in the fives. Guys, I should have loaded up, and I believed in the company. I don't know what I was thinking. You know how that? So anyways, that's just some history, some people that have been following me for a while and say, well, who is this guy really? That's why I'm giving you guys some info. But hey, look, I've got to do some business. I've been on this live way longer than I thought. But yes, did it fail? It did. How did it fail? 2008, 2009 US dollar. So I was buying in Thai baht. Thai baht was 40 baht per dollar. 2008, 2009, during the financial crisis, it went down to 28 baht per dollar. So if you can imagine, your money, $1 was 40, and then all of a sudden $1 is 28. What that can do to it is wiped out. I rode this thing down below. I should have got out earlier, and I got absolutely crushed. Guys, I actually have to get to business work. I know it's Saturday, but I will work on Saturdays when I got special clients. I can't talk about it, but if I get this deal for this movie to provide these products, this is big. So I got to make sure I take care of this person. I hope you guys understand. If you're one of the 83 still on here, and if you could just hit the follow so we can stay in touch, I promise you're enjoying my content, my live, doing the best we can over here. We have great information. 28 days 07, man, GOAT right there. We are coming up with amazing investing ideas. You guys can see the comments. My other videos, you will see the comments. There are tons of investing ideas here. Always do your own research with these. Remember, this is social media. If anyone on social media is giving you financial advice, they're not allowed to do that. It's not like a thing. Financial advisors will not give advice on social media. Do not listen. Always do your own research. Use it as inspiration and ideas for what may be for you, what you can do. Maybe some of these stock ideas, it might not be it might be something you like, we didn't know about. There's thousands of stocks, so it's hard for us to do individually the research. So what we're doing is we're coming back together. We're making this community where we can all do some research and come up with ideas together. And that's what's so cool about this. Thank you so much, guys. Hopefully you guys give me a follow real quick. And that's a wrap. Let's go. It's Saturday. It's beautiful in Atlanta. I'm so happy to be home. I'm going to hang out with the cats and maybe see a friend and go for a walk and all that. So it's awesome, guys. Oh, one more thing. Do you have alt accounts? So no, you will be contacted. Unfortunately, people rip my videos and everything and going to contact you about crypto and all this stuff. That is not me. Block them. Hopefully you guys follow. Go spam my comments on my other videos, and we'll be in touch soon. I'll be back tomorrow, though, Sunday morning. We're going to do another live. Let's get it.